Update. New details still trickling out 30 years later. Original post. We were at a large dinner party with friends, and a close friend told this hilarious story about something that happened on a group European trip, a trip I couldn't attend because of work. The story was about an embarrassing incident that involved my wife and her affair partner. Our friends are clueless and know nothing about the affair. To them it was just a funny wardrobe malfunction story. The European trip was months after I discovered the affair and was promised there would be, and was, no contact between the two of them during the trip. Well, another lie, another blow-up fight 30 years after reconciliation. My self-esteem once again thrown to the curb. For clarity, this isn't the first time the truth has come out accidentally. It seems to happen at least once every 4 to 5 years, making my life a living hell. During the argument everything was rehashed, and she denied several things that she had already admitted to long ago. Apparently, it's hard to keep your story straight and memories fade. Every detail is burned into my mind like a steel trap, and I can't forget the details no matter how much I would love to. I feel like a fool, and I'm very vulnerable right now. When my wife had the affair, I did everything wrong. There was no internet, there were no Reddit subs, only terrible advice from religious leaders. I did the pick-me dance, I hid the affair from family and friends, I wanted details and thought I was told the truth, but no. I filed for divorce today. I'm now the bad guy. Our adult children and extended family don't know anything about the past infidelity, the lies, the damage done. Everyone is pissed at me for leaving mom. Even if I outed my wife, I look like a fool for staying for so long. You know, let bygones be bygones. People don't understand how trickle truth reopens that wound again, and again, and again. I'm done. So here are some thoughts on reconciliation. Leaving your spouse for infidelity has a short shelf life. You should consider leaving first, and reconciliation second. You can leave a cheater and not be the villain. Wait too long, and you look like a fool or a person who abandons your spouse. It never goes away. Your relationship will never be the same. What was hard for me was it felt selfish to leave her, impact the children, take the social hit, etc. I never thought about myself and the impact it has had on my life. Honestly, my self-esteem never recovered and it hurt my career and impacted all of my relationships, not just my relationship with my wife. Impact, the underlying anger was always there. My wife, who deserves better, had to live with a very angry man for all of these years. Surprisingly, when I filed for divorce that anger has disappeared. I'm not even angry with her. It's very hard, but it feels like I'm finally doing the right thing. I know I'm coming across as a fool, but please don't judge me too harshly. Her affair wasn't so much about sleeping with another man, which destroyed a part of me. It was about the lack of loyalty, the lack of consideration about how it would affect me. It was about all the lies that were necessary to carry on the affair, and the continued deception that has carried on for years. Reading the top comments before the next update. You'd probably feel better if you told everyone. This isn't your fault, and now you've taken on hate for something that's not your fault. I don't see you as a fool. If anything, I commend you for trying for so many years. Thank you. I'm definitely working on my self-esteem right now, and I appreciate your kind words. By your words I can feel you carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Brother, it's time to let go and free yourself. Seriously, you are worth so much and you need to appreciate yourself. I agree. OP, telling the world will not make you look like a fool. Simply state she had an affair 30 years ago and you stayed because you thought it was the honorable thing for the family and you were assured that you knew all the details. Explain over the years new details continue to emerge and you finally decided it is best for both you and her if you divorce. Don't worry about critics, it is only your opinion of yourself that matters. I'm still undecided whether to put the blame on her, but I'm considering it. I think that at least your children need to be told what happened and why you filed. You don't have to give them all the details. You are not the person that caused this, you are the victim of someone that broke your trust. It doesn't matter that it happened a long time ago, it still happened. Thanks. I think they will just take her side anyway. I can hear them saying that was so long ago. But I will consider letting them know, especially if they get really nasty with me. I'm certain of one thing, she will never tell. And it's possible she would even deny it to them. That would be awkward because I have receipts. Update. Here's an update as to where I stand right now. I met with my attorney, accountant, financial advisor, and filed for divorce. I fired our marriage counselor we have been seeing for years because of my anger issues in the relationship. Go figure, I'm in personal therapy. I moved all of my belongings to a storage unit and have a new home cross-country ready for occupation in a few weeks. My anger has evaporated, my self-esteem is improving, and I'm hopeful for the future for the first time in many years. Many people have asked about my wife's status. I would say she is devastated, sad, shocked, and confused that a lie she told 30 years ago is ending her marriage at this late date. Sometimes it even sounds crazy to me, but this is what trickle truth does to a relationship. If you've never been betrayed, it's really difficult to understand how painful and damaging it is to find another lie, and another lie, and another lie over the years. Any trust that has been built through reconciliation is tossed out the window and it's D-Day all over again. Here's the part that I'm fearful to admit. Most people told me to out my wife's infidelity to our children and friends to avoid taking the heat myself for our divorce. Please forgive me, but I don't think it's in my best interest to do that. I'll try to explain why, but I think you will slay me in the comments anyway. I'm an older man and I'm used to taking the heat. I don't care deeply what our friends think of me. They know me. If how they feel about me changes because of divorce, they weren't that great of friends in the first place. The ones who've asked, I told them I've been unhappy for years and I'm no longer willing to continue. I do care what my children, and grandchildren, think of me. But, I believe if I told them the truth they would say, that was long ago. Why can't you forgive and move on? Like I said earlier, if you know you know. If you haven't experienced betrayal, you just don't get it. They will be upset with me regardless. They would be more upset with my wife, and I don't know how they would react towards her. Possibly even alienating her from our grandchildren, who she loves deeply. I'm really tired. What I need right now is rest and peace. Creating a bunch of drama so people will look more favorably on me just doesn't work for me. It's not who I am. A lot of angry people in the comments want my wife to be punished for what she's done. Humiliated. To you I say, being divorced at age 63 is no small thing. She swept it under the rug, yes. But she is devastated now by the scope of the damage her lies have done. She minimized her role in the divorce, and will never admit anything, but she hasn't actively made me look bad to friends and family for leaving. If she goes into attack mode and starts bad-mouthing me, I will be forced to play the cards I hold. I've told her this. I'm primarily interested in my own healing. And after much consideration, I don't think it would help me heal. I hold a lot of shame for staying as long as I did, it's true, but I'm working with my therapist on those issues. I've had a few weeks to let this settle in my mind, and there is an important concept that needs to be learned from my experience. First, reconciliation is hard, painful, and almost impossible to accomplish under the best circumstances. I've been a proponent of reconciliation in the past, but no more. It's taken me 30 years to get to the point where I can honestly say, I'm primarily interested in my own healing. If you have been cheated on, and you can't make that statement with confidence, then you aren't ready for reconciliation. Not ready. Second, trickle truthing is one of the most heinous forms of abuse you can do to your partner. Trickle truths leaves your partner in a constant state of uncertainty, destroys their ability to trust, places the emotional burden on them, and exploits their desire for reconciliation. Also, you can protect your ego and shelter yourself from the consequences of your poor behavior. If you take this route, you are an abuser. I hope to do another update around the first of the year when my divorce is finalized. Thank you for the positive words and energy. Reading the top comments before the next update. 2 things that make me believe 100% that you're on the right track. 1. Trickle truth means the blows never stop landing. When they hit you, they're fresh. 2. If she cared about you, she'd stand up today and tell everyone what she's done to you. You've given so much more than she's ever deserved. And you're still protecting her, even in divorce. You reconciled, she did not. You've done enough. I wish you peace, clear mountain air, and cold lakes full of fish. Make your new life an adventure. Thank you for recognizing how much I've done. It's really hard to walk away from a 46-year marriage. I'm trying to heal myself, selfishly, and still do the right thing. Sounds like you're on the right track. It seems you've given much thought and asked for advice, so your reasons are your reasons. I found out about another affair 20 years before after we separated. And that was way worse than the one that ended our marriage. 20 years of pain and anguish that didn't make sense suddenly fell into place. I haven't told my kids, but I will over the coming months. It's nearly 5 years since we separated. I think they deserve to know for 3 reasons. 1. I'm still a mess and they need to have a basic understanding of what the reasons are. 2. I see their mother lying to them about other things, and it's time they knew she shouldn't always be believed. 3. I don't want them in a position where they find out later and experience the same trickle truths. Good luck and all the best. OP. I found out 2 years ago my wife was a serial cheater during the first 20 years of our marriage. I had suspicions in real time many years ago, but I was lied to and gaslit. My wife lied for 20 years, lied by mission for 18 more, then lied for months while coming clean. People who tell you it was 30 years ago, let it go, aren't grasping the fact that it isn't the cheating then that killed your marriage. It is the 30 years of lies, including lying now. Yes, this. It's the lies by omission, secrets, and 5 months of trickle truth. My husband cheated twice, 2004 to 2007 and 2010. Started 13 years into our marriage. And kept in touch with emails every year reaffirming feelings and passion. So he's been lying to me for 20 years of our 34-year marriage. Last update 6 months later. Thanks to the sub for your support and advice. My divorce was finalized last month, a process that took 6 months total, but seemed much longer. I'm happier, have more confidence, and love myself a lot more since separating from my now ex-wife. I won't lie, the financial impact was difficult, but worth it. Surprisingly, I'm doing very well. For years I was a huge advocate for marriage and believed that reconciliation was the first option and absolutely doable. I no longer believe this to be true. I now believe that true reconciliation is rare and only successful under the best conditions and with utter transparency. What I have witnessed is this: the wayward partner wants to reconcile and put the past behind them. They're quick to forgive themselves and move on. Happiness is a short reach for them. The betrayed spouse has a completely different experience. Small lies cause them to go cross-eyed. Almost always, they are traumatized. They are deeply hurt. They are the walking wounded. Finding happiness for them is fleeting at best. Since our separation, I've had numerous discussions with counselors and therapists, the reconciliation industry. They insist the loyal partner doesn't need to know the details about the infidelity. They believe healing is faster and more complete if you don't reveal everything that happened. Honestly, I couldn't disagree more. First, the loyal spouse needs to make a decision. Should I stay or should I leave? If material facts are hidden, even for their protection, how can they make an informed decision? I'm convinced that cheating is a character flaw. If your partner is not able to be forthright with what happened, that is another flaw. If they are still being deceptive, even after being exposed, that is strike 3. They've already shown you through their actions who they are and what they are capable of doing. So if you can't trust their words, where is a foundation to start the reconciliation process? The rare case I witnessed when reconciliation was successful had all of the following characteristics. This could be a partial checklist for should I stay, or should I leave? 1. The cheater came forward about the affair, it wasn't exposed by an outside source. 2. The cheater ended the relationship on their own with finality. 3. The cheater took drastic steps to make sure there wouldn't be any further contact with the affair partner, quit their job. 4. The cheater initiated individual and couples therapy, they didn't wait for the loyal spouse to find a counselor. 5. The cheater provided a detailed timeline with names, places, and how this disaster happened. 6. The cheater turned over passwords and complete access to their email, phones, and social media. 7. The cheater revealed to friends and family the nature of the affair and took responsibility for their actions. 8. The cheater answered questions that arose, even months later, when the spouse was insecure. Each of these is very difficult. It amounts to the stars lining up for your relationship to survive. This is why I now believe the first choice should be I'm leaving. Prove to me why I should stay. Then let them prove it. Ultimately, the decision to stay or go is up to you. Just don't believe the fallacy that your relationship will ever be the same again. That relationship is dead. Can you build a new one? Perhaps. It seems that most people eventually regret staying with a cheater. But there are lots of reasons to stay, I've heard them all. There is one really good reason to leave: self-respect. What the F am I doing? I'm really sorry that you're a member of the club that nobody wants to belong to. I am an opponent of the Reconciliation Brigade. I think it's the biggest waste of time. There are lines you should never cross, no matter how great, hot, etc. your partner is. You give up on yourself and deprive yourself of the opportunity to find someone who actually loves you and doesn't pull that crap. It's sad to see that many are not so strong, sticking with a cheater out of comfort, even if it happens again. It takes real self-respect to say, I don't want this crap in my life. I wish you every success on your journey. Maybe you will still find someone who is sincere and faithful. That checklist is incredibly valuable, and should be the default response to people who are considering reconciliation. Even the part about the detailed timeline. People don't want the details because they know it will make reconciliation harder, but that's the point. Details would probably reveal the absence of the other key points. I'm sorry for your pain, but I appreciate the clarity and honesty of your conclusions. Your experience being so long and drawn out makes it harder for you, but it gives you a perspective that we just don't see on this site. Thank you. On to the next story. It took 4 years for karma to strike. D-Day for me was 4 years ago when I discovered that my male, 46, wayward wife, female, 49, was sleeping with my best friend. If that wasn't bad enough, when all that came crashing down, I was informed that my 4-year-old daughter wasn't my daughter at all, but his. I thought she told me this out of spite, but unfortunately she wasn't. A paternity test revealed that horrible reality. Over the weekend, I was invited to a birthday bash for a mutual friend of me and my ex. As a musician, my band was asked to play and I was happy to oblige. As I'm setting up, I scanned the hall and saw my ex's affair partner trying to talk to my fiancée. This irked me because the last time we were at this friend's party, he made a pass at my fiancée without realizing who she was. Needless to say, this didn't go over well with my ex when she found out, and I got the satisfaction of knowing that given the chance he would do to her what they did to me. I wasn't sure if he was trying to hit on her again and was about to intervene when my fiancée turned and started walking up to the stage and rolling her eyes. I gave her a thumbs up to see if she was okay and she gave me one back, so I went back to setting up. Throughout the night, I saw my ex talking to everyone she could, and her affair partner lingering somewhere always near my fiancé. When I finished my set, I went outside to see my fiancée sitting on a bench and the affair partner trying to talk to her again. This pissed me off. It wasn't enough to break up my marriage, it seemed he wanted to ruin me a second time too. I stormed up and asked what the hell was going on, except I was a little more colorful than I am here, and he turned, clamped a hand down on my shoulder, which I knocked off, and he apologized, took a step back, then told me that I was right about my ex. I wasn't expecting that and I just stood there in shock as he drunkenly blubbered on about how I was right about everything I warned him about. He loudly told me, in front of several of our mutual friends, she's an effing psycho. And went on about how he's now stuck with her because of their situation. He turned back to my fiancée and told her that he just wanted her to know that I was a good man. She thanked him, and when he turned back to me, she looked at me and mouthed, "What the F?" When he left and went back in the hall, we made the decision that that was enough for the night. We tore down and got the hell out of there as fast as we could. On the way home, my fiancée asked me how I felt about that, and to be honest, I'm glad. I'm ecstatic knowing he got exactly what he deserved. I don't know if she found out what was said or not. My phone has been quiet and no one said anything to me about it. But I don't think it will be too much longer before it blows up even further. Seems like he's hitting his limit, and when that happens, I'm sure I'll hear all about it. While that's nice, don't think your ex-friend has changed. He still was trying hard to lean at your fiancée the entire night because all he thinks he can get are apparently your leftovers. Be sure you and your fiancée discuss her setting strong boundaries with him so he leaves her alone in the future. No, he wasn't. I asked her what he wanted and she told me that he was trying to get her aside to talk to her about me. My ex was trying to paint me as a massive abusive a-hole, and he wanted her to know it wasn't true. I asked her if that's all he said and she said it was. That before I came outside he was telling her that he wanted her to know that there were rumors about abuse from my end and accusations that I cheated first. I never cheated, and he wanted her to know that they were all lies. It's great that he was trying to set the record straight, and he could be doing it because he feels guilty and also because of a karma that he's faced, but just because he's trying to be honest, doesn't mean that you should still regain or even re-establish a friendship with him, because he definitely did a major betrayal. I never will. As far as I'm concerned, he destroyed 2 families, mine and his own. He was married. Telling me I'm right doesn't really do much except stoke my "I told you so." I'm glad he's regretting it. I'm glad that he's currently stuck with her and has nowhere to go because of the decisions he foolishly made with her. He can have my old crappy life with her, never being enough, never being able to satisfy her and make her happy. Always getting attacked for not meeting her demands. He can have it.